All right, we are back with David Fawcett, our Inside Nova sports editor. I am Trevor Baratko, an editor with Inside Nova, and we have 1 week of football, high school football, in the books for us. And what an exciting one it was. Dave, go ahead and run through here a few key points. We saw Colgan opening up with a win over Osborne, 42-35. It was Lauren White, who we spoke about last week, was his head coaching debut. So their quarterback, George Hall III, had a really big game. What how crucial is he for the Sharks this year?
Yeah, I mean, as any coach will tell you, the offense goes as the quarterback goes. But in this particular case, Colgan only returned four starters from last season. But the good news for them, though, is that one of those starters was their quarterback, George Hall III. As you said, he's a third-year starter. He's a dual threat type of guy. So he's versatile, he's got experience, and he really put that on display last Thursday against Osborne. He counted for three touchdowns, 306 yards of total offense. But I think more than anything, just his leadership and his ability to kind of keep defenses off guard and kind of what he was going to do really allowed the offense to really flourish the way it did, and ended up scoring on six of its first eight possessions, and really maintained a good tempo. And I think was very encouraging. I don't know if surprising necessarily given his abilities, but certainly encouraging with the first game.
Yeah, that's starting off with a bang. What'd you say? Six of their first eight possessions, they put points on the board. That's
Yep.
nice. That's nice. So we'll jump over Forest Park. They had another win with a new head coach on the sidelines. What jumped out at you about that game?
Yeah, I don't know if they were those who knew the team maybe were totally surprised, but those of us kind of on the outside looking in were like, wow, 56 points they put up, and then at Centerville. And that was the bigger surprise about that was they have no returning starters on offense from last season in Forest Park. They graduated 22 seniors, including their leading rusher, their quarterback, their entire offensive line. So, there were going to be some question marks there, but boy, they really answered a lot of them in
Right.
this game. And they were kind of clicking on all cylinders. They had a running back named Kellen Lewis, who uh, was an all-district defensive back for them last season, is also going to now add running back responsibilities. He ended up just setting a school record for rushing yards in a game with 345 and five touchdowns. The
Jeez,
quarterback, Nathan
what a
Song,
night.
threw for almost 400 yards. They were just very, they have a spread offense now, and they really put it to good use. And they just did a lot of different things where they had passing, running, receiving. Brandon Benson, who's the first year head coach there, is the offensive coordinator, and really did a nice job of calling the plays. And I think the biggest shout out probably goes to the offensive line. Again, these are all new varsity starters, not necessarily new varsity players, but varsity stars, and they really did an impressive job of opening up holes, providing protection, and really allowed that offense to just have a stellar night against a traditional power.
Neat. Yeah, that was a shootout. What, 56-47? High
Yeah,
scoring
correct.
affair. Okay, so last year, the Battlefield North Stafford matchup, which again we focused on a fair bit last week, and that did not disappoint. Tell us about that game and what transpired there at the end.
Yeah, correct. I mean, that was expected to be a really good game because you had two experienced teams who both made the playoffs last year. North Stafford jumped out early, 13-0, but Battlefield being Battlefield, excuse the pun, battled back and really did well there with their quarterback who came in. He's the backup, but he came in and threw two touchdown passes, including the one that tied the game up with no time left. He hit Keaton Ramey for a 5-yard touchdown pass. And what really made it even more dramatic or really compelling was that they had because now the game is tied 13-all, so they still got to convert the extra point. So a young man named Landon Allen came in. He had never uh, kicked in a football game, at least a high school football game before. He was recruited off the soccer team to come in and add his kicking abilities to football. And boy, he booted it. He converted it. Crowd went wild. The game was in Haymarket. They ended up extending their regular season winning streak now to 44 games.
Yeah.
And that just, Battlefield has just really showed again their resilience and, the why they're the type program that they are.
Yeah, that as you mentioned, just to kind of underline that 44 game regular season winning streak. And I think that kick, judging by the video, which by the way, you can find the last second TD pass and the extra point. We have videos up on InsideNoVa.com of both of those and on our social media outlets as well. It looked like I think it was like right through the middle, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Nailed it. All right. Well, heading into next week, what you got your eye on?
So again, full week. Now they'll be playing this week on Friday night, September 5th. The game we're going to be covering and kind of focusing on will be Woodbridge at Gainesville. Woodbridge has got off to a really good start, put up 54 points in their win over Stafford, and they will go to Gainesville, which had a rough outing. They lost 20-0 to Mountain View. Had some, some mistakes, some penalties, things that kind of slowed them, but it still should be a really good game to see kind of how, each other Gainesville kind of bounces back, and if Woodbridge's momentum continues, with their offense.
And remind our Woodbridge's team you find really intriguing. Remind our viewers here why Woodbridge is one to watch for you from kind of an insider's perspective.
Sure. They have, because of the players they have coming back, they returned a number of starters on both sides of the ball, and then they had some impact transfers come in at quarterback and wide receiver and even at defensive end. So it's that combination of the two where they were already set anyway before these three came in, and now they're even that much better. And again, you saw that especially offensively last Thursday when they put up 54 again against Stafford. They can beat you on the run, they can beat you in the pass. They're set up front, so they've got some real momentum as they continue to go forward.
Do you know yet of where we're going to have folks out live on site covering this week?
Yeah, we'll be at that. That's the game we'll be at is Friday. Will be Woodbridge at Gainesville. Will be the main one for us. Yep.
Well, Dave, I know it was a really busy first week, first night for you. I'm sure more to come. Thank you so much for jumping on here, folks. Check out InsideNoVa.com for Dave and our reporter sports coverage.